Welcome to Blueprint Boost for Contractors, the podcast that's your go-to source for unlocking the secrets to successful marketing, gaining valuable insights, and growing your contracting business with less stress. Your host is David Brooks, and he's thrilled to be your guide on this journey. As a seasoned expert in the contracting industry, David understands the challenges you face. That's why each episode is crafted to provide you with actionable strategies and proven blueprints to boost your business to new heights.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, David Brooks, powered by Contractor Rhino. We have a special guest with us for this episode. I'll allow her to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Nirvana Jewell representing Jewell Distributors today. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on. Could you give us a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. So let's see. I've been with Jewell Distributors for about 2.5 years. I am the digital marketing specialist. So what that means is I'm actually on the IT side of the team, not the marketing side, but I assist and help run a team that does all of the marketing output for our contractors, for our partners, and just Jewell Distributors as a whole. So within that, I run a couple of marketing campaigns for our different business units. So under Jewell Distributors, we also have heating and cooling supply, which is on the West Coast, primarily California, Arizona, and Nevada, and then Acme Refrigeration and Kaiser, which is in the Louisiana area. And then Jewell Distributors is all the southeast area of the nation. So Florida, the Carolinas, we're up in Virginia as well, Georgia, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's what I do here. As far as my background, very different from what I do now. So I started off in the special event side and nonprofit fundraising area. That's mainly my expertise, coupled with special event planning and marketing efforts. So I kind of fell into this role. HVAC was like completely different from the luxury market and sports and things like that I used to do marketing in, but it allowed me to bring a different skill set, a different viewpoint to the marketing for HVAC companies. So it's pretty cool. So I've been here for a little while.
Nice. That's excellent. That's a really good journey along the way, switching pace.
Yes, yes, thank you. It's definitely different. Yeah.
Yes. I would love to talk about that difference of which you were seeing before to which you walked into now with HVAC.
Well, okay, where should I begin? First of all, I'm in South Florida, so everything is like ultra luxe and about super sexiness and luxury this, luxury that, and then to go into HVAC where it's a super blue collar nation, which is fabulous because what a lot of people don't know is like how much income potential there is in the HVAC industry, number one. So people might look at someone who's like blue collar worker and stereotype them, but really they make a lot more than you do. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the first things that I found to be really interesting. And so my whole thing was like, well, how do I make like HVAC sexy? Right? Yeah, well, it's very hard to do, but not when you know the truth behind it and what drives it. It's like really, as far as if you're thinking about the blueprint of building a house and construction, like we are the heart of the home, so you can't run a house without, heating and ventilation and cooling. So, it's kind of like easier once I learned more, it's easier to talk about it and to really stand behind the brand and understand the brand and to be able to communicate those facts out to everybody else. And then our company has a lot of like really amazing features and opportunities to help the contractors, so it's like it's easy to communicate that as well because it helps benefit their business. So the transition was a little different at first because I did have to tone a lot of things down. It was like I'm coming in gung-ho. Oh, we have to do this, we have to do this. Oh, we need a photo shoot, da 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 da, and they're looking at me like, girl, we need to market this insulation. Like, we need to talk about counter days. And I'm like, okay. So I had to dial it back, but still being able to like layer in my personality and the other skill set that I've developed in, other markets to be able to communicate that effectively. And I think I've done a pretty good job. I think so.
Well, that's excellent. No, that's like a great way of coming in, right? You're like, hey, look, I'm gonna do this, and then you're like, okay, I gotta adjust, but yet you still be able to keep I think the natural essence of your roots and where you came from and your personality and trying to get it across. And I think the synergy between our listeners and what you're doing currently is you have to balance multiple brands, right? So like you
Yes.
have different brands underneath the umbrella, and so too would an HVAC company sometimes, they have either multiple locations, right? That they have to treat almost as same but different
Hmm.
brand, sort of kind of in this location, or it could be, hey, we do HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, right? And how do we
Right.
differentiate all of those three and then making them each as valuable as the next one and just not siloed?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because what you'll find is like we have, a few brands that aren't carried everywhere. So even with that, and it could be under the same business umbrella. So under Jameer Distributors, there are certain areas that carry more American Standard versus Ream, versus. So you have to be able to tailor the marketing in that regard as well, in a regional aspect. And then also just in just general communication, like really understanding, okay, this is what happens in this market. This is how this market performs in terms of business, and this is what's most effective. But let's add something to that so that they're seeing something different, they're noticing something different, they can adapt something different to their business and to how they market as well. So yeah, I would agree with you.
Mhm. No, like, and that was great, looking at that, adapting to the market, adapting because different areas, like you said, maybe they don't carry American Standard, maybe it's more Ream in this area. So it's being able to understand the demographic too and the audience as
Yes.
well. And I think that this goes hand in hand with building, a strong social media presence, right? You have to understand your demographic and your audience and just a lot of other nuances that goes into it other than let me just click post.
Absolutely. With that, that was the biggest struggle initially because we have so many pages, and not because our brand created these pages, but we had, employees who are really gung ho about social media. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let me create a social media page for our brand, but it's under someone's account, or, so it was like coming in to try to streamline all of that, basically having to start, with certain socials like Instagram, really kind of having to start from scratch because we wanted to have one unified place where people could go to get all the information. They were being distracted by, Jameer distributors, branch such and such and such. It's like that's not how we wanted it to work. We wanted to be where they can just go to one focused location. This is where they get all the information. This is where they know what's happening. This is where they can see all of the event recap photos. This is how they can use this tool. They can model after this and go from there. So we don't have a huge following on Instagram, but it is actual growth that we can track. The analytics are great because we are talking to real people. It's not a bunch of bots. We didn't come in swinging like, oh, well, if we just buy 10,000 followers, then people will follow suit and think that we are who we are. No, we are who we are anyway, because that's the brand story. So, slow growing, but honest and true and, direct to the consumer.
I love that. Like just honest transparency, and streamlining things like that is so, oh man, it's so important. And kudos to you for just being able to do that and get all those things together because sometimes you do take a loss, right? Because I've seen it where, you have businesses and it's like, oh, this is under Joe's account, and then Steve over here created something, and then Susan over here created. So now you have just like this brand dilution. It's like, okay, which one is it? Like, which one are we
Yes.
sending people to? It just confuses people. And sometimes, you have to take that and to say, okay, like we may have more people over here, but this might not be ideal, right? Like this person may not work here anymore, or
Right, right.
anything can happen. So you want to be able to make sure that you own those assets.
Hmm.
The company owns those assets, and then you could start building off that naturally and organically, like you said, not with a bunch of bots, not with ghost followers or fake people. You
Yes.
actually want to make those real, genuine connections.
Absolutely. And, the old traditional saying, if you build it, they will come, right? So that's literally what I'm seeing happening. Like I see how many followers we get every day, where before in the beginning it was just like, hey, everybody, we're here. We're here. But, some people already thought that they were following us because, like you said, people, in their haste to be able to promote their business or as a salesperson, oh, I want to get out here, want to get the company out here more, and they think that that's not a part of the general path. They created their own, and so when I tell you it's very difficult to streamline to get rid of a lot of accounts and things like that because you have to chase down rabbit holes. Some of them will be there forever because the way like Meta and Facebook is set up, like you really cannot delete anything. Like they just it's a final footprint. So even with that, that's a lesson in itself to be shared. Be very certain about the type of account that you're going to create, speaking to the contractors, because it's not that you only get one chance, but or it's not like you only get one chance at a first impression because you can make multiple pages, but why would you do that? It'll, like you said, dilute your business. It could, divert people to the wrong areas. So if you're not certain how to do it, I would recommend contracting somebody to help you with the marketing, or reach out to your distributor. If Jameer Distributors is your distributor, which it should be if you're in our region, then we have resources that can help you get started. Um, we like to do trainings and things of that nature that assist with the marketing. And our overarching brand, our parent company, which is Watsco, they have all kind of resources to help the contractor market their business because their business helps our business grow.
Mhm. And that's crucial. What you just said is being able to get that help, right? Whether it's, a marketing person or Jameer, like just being able to take the time. And it's okay. Like if you don't understand fully, you don't get it. You're not supposed to be a master in everything, right? You may be good at
Right.
installs and repairs, but tech,
Right.
you may not be tech savvy, right? And
Yeah.
it's okay, right? Even tech savvy people have a hard time figuring something out sometime, but it's going to do you a world of benefit. I've seen people like I tried this and I did this, and now it's like, man, I have to untangle all this. Is just making it more harder, and sometimes they don't even remember all the things that they did. They only maybe remember like, oh, I did this, and then you start digging deeper. And you're like, well, what about this over here? It's like, oh, that's right. And then
Yep.
and yeah, so you go down that rabbit hole. Like you said, with Meta, it's like it's hard to undo
Hmm.
something. So you really want to make sure that's set up right for your business profile, for your ad account. I've seen people just leave an ad account and forget that they have it and wondering, what's impeding them from moving forward. And it's like you do some undigging. It's like you still have a balance on this old ad account that you have
Yeah.
to pay.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really important to be on top of that or assign someone in your business to be on top of that. Um, Most of what I've found is that, a lot of the contractors, well, they're busy doing their job. So stopping to do content creation, that's just another thing that they don't want to have to think about. So if I had to like give any tips, I would say to try to budget some time, to set aside some time to be able to capture some of the things that you do. Follow some people who are really good at that so you can get some ideas on how to do that, and make it your own, keep it authentic. And then a lot of the companies that we sell the products for, if you follow their pages, they have things that are available for the contractors. They have, entire marketing portals that you can download information, you can download photos, et cetera, et cetera. However, I would I would suggest not to adopt their brand 100% as your own brand because we've seen that happen as well, where it's like just you go to someone's Instagram page and you're like, oh, is this a Ream 2.0 or, brand XYZ? Because they've just literally taken their stuff and put it there just so that they have a social presence, but it's doing them a disservice at the same time.
Mhm. I totally love that you just said that. I've seen many where it's like, hey, like we're, here's our marketing material. And it's okay, you get handed the marketing material, and that's okay, but don't let that take over and reshape,
Right.
your brand guidelines, what you started out with. And then like you said, it looks like, Ream or Mercury like 2.0, and it's like, and it's hard as a customer, it's hard to connect with that. I
Hmm.
The ones that do it right are the ones that I see, and we get that everybody's busy, have a schedule, but if you could just say, okay, once a month or once a week or once a quarter, like we're just going to dedicate a day to really getting some good photos, some videos, like while we're out on jobs, while we're connecting with customers, if we're doing a special event or going somewhere, capturing that information, then using that for social, for the website, for Google Business. Like
Hmm.
that'll be
Hmm. Hmm.
totally valuable for your strategy, for your visibility, and just for people to be able to connect with you.
Absolutely, 100%. And I do want to say one other thing. It's not imperative that you post all the time because you would rather post quality over quantity, right? So even with me, so sometimes with the brands, I'll take a pause, because if I don't have what I feel represents our brand, I'm not going to post it. I'll get photos that, from some of our leaders who are like, hey, we were at this, this trip. Can you post this picture? Or we have this training. Can you post this picture? And I'll tell them absolutely not. And then they're like, wait a minute, isn't that what you're supposed to do? I'm like, so I can only have so many photos, the same photo of someone standing in the back of a classroom taking the pictures of the back of a bunch of contractors' heads. I'm not going to post that. Like I'd rather get more granular in the detail of the event. So if it's a training, like let's get somebody, holding up the material, giving a thumbs up. Let's get, an image of them writing, where it shows engagement. Let's get, someone, shaking hands in appreciation for what they just, learned. If we're giving something away, let's get them, photographed with their TM, or SCM, and whatever it was that they won. Like, let's really get the emotion behind it. Let's get the appreciation, and let's show gratitude for the opportunity that we have to present to our audience. So that's like what I prefer to do.
Mm. And that's like really great because like you said, I can only get so many photos in the back of somebody's head. And that's right. I think, people, and it's nothing wrong with like, hey, I went to an event, I did something, I was at some place, and you have this material, but you want to make sure that it's the right material, right? It may be 100, let's just say 100 photos taken, but you may only have three out of the 100.
Yeah.
It's okay that you only have three, but if the three are good quality, that represent and they're able to kind of tell a story, you'll take that, right? Like,
Absolutely. That's the one that you want.
Mhm.
You want to get that granular. And and again, it's okay. Like people like to think, oh my God, I got to post all the time. And that's because, the rise of the influencers and all of that good stuff. And you're a business person, you run a business. If you're independently contracted, if you're, a small business, like it's okay to start small. You will grow just like your business will grow. You will grow in your understanding of how to use the digital marketing tools, and then you'll get better at your craft. And you'll literally be able to see your growth by going from the very first post that you posted and the very first caption to the most current one. And you're like, wow, I really learned how to use hashtags. Wow, I learned about alt text.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm using AI to help craft the copy so that I'm not spending so much time and I'm able to do all of this stuff in advance. Wow, I learned how to use the photo editing to really enhance the quality of this photo. Wow, I'm learning how to tag these brands. Now I'm in a collaboration post with the brand, and I'm hitching my, my shuttle to their rising star, and now I'm getting, more likes, more exposure because I've partnered, on a post with a bigger brand. So there's all these different ways that'll lead up to, more followers, more likes, things that translate to more sales and more visibility about your business.
Yeah, that's so true. Like being able to partner with other brands, being able to expand your visibility, and things will come natural if you give it a chance and let it happen over time. Another great thing, for listeners is if you're able to tell a really great story, and pointing out something that was done. I remember one time it was a company and we were working with, and it was a hot summer, and they went out and do a service call on an older lady, and she didn't really have like a lot of money to be able to get a new unit, and
Mm,
they just felt for her and they gave her a new unit. That was a great story. Like they were able to
yeah.
capture that, post it on social media. People were, really engaging with the content. And that was just like the right thing that they were able to do. But using that as an opportunity to be able to say, hey, like we're not just here to, take your money, but we're actually here to be able to help support you, because it
Hmm.
is, as a homeowner, as someone that's, in need of, whether it's heat or AC, it's a problem, right?
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
really, it can, make you miserable, can make you sad. It's a lot of different things that go into it. And so being able to, have those stories, or even if it's just an emergency call and you were able to come out and solve someone's problem really quickly, and they're like, we called everybody and everybody else told us like they were closed or they weren't getting back to us, but you guys came out, like that. Those are important things, and to be able to highlight too as well.
Absolutely. Everybody loves a problem solver. Everybody loves a good give back story. I also think that businesses that show their attachment to their community really go further. So if it's in terms of like you reference, like, you have a senior and it's, hot triple digits, Texas, Louisiana, whatever, and you're able to do something like that. Everybody loves a story like that because we all have that in common. We know, a senior person, we have a grandmother or grandfather, or, a neighbor that we care dearly for, a church member, whatever the case may be. And to know that somebody was able to, step in and help them in that way, like that's an incredible thing to do. So if there are opportunities to capture those moments and then share those, that's amazing. If your company is a part of, sponsoring a softball team, a little league or something like that, a soccer team, share those moments. Like don't keep those hidden for yourself. Don't keep those in the dark because people want to know, and people do more business with people who are, tapped into the community in some sort of way.
Mhm. Yeah, tapping into the community, taking advantage of being able to make actual connections with people. Like if you can,
Mhm.
we had uh DJ on he's owner HVAC owner, and he took the time out to speak with me on a Saturday, and he was letting me know that hey, they were just coming from a community event, and like it felt really good like for them to
Mhm.
be at that event. And it's like, hey, that's what it's all about. People see you involved in the community, so when they call, they know who you are. Like you're not a stranger. Like they feel
Right.
connected.
They feel connected, absolutely. Like I said, being the heart of the home, that translates to being the heart of the community as well. We all have a need for heating, cooling, ventilation, plumbing, electricity. Like these are the things that help keep our homes comfortable and oftentimes are the difference between life and death for many people. So to be able to be instrumental outside of just billing a client, that's really what you want to focus on. And if you gonna do that, then share that with your, your digital community. People love to see it. They'd love to see it.
They absolutely do. And another point that I wanted to talk about was being able to keep everything organized and planning goes into a lot of marketing strategy, social, and any tips that you have, because again, you manage multiple brands underneath umbrella, so it's a lot of
Whew,
moving parts.
whew, let me tell you, it's a lot of
Yeah.
moving parts. And also, let me tell you, it's still always a work in progress. I've always kind of been a student of chaos myself. So organizing, multiple posts, multiple this, multiple that, we had to find tools as a team that worked. So good project management tools. On the corporate side of things, really depending on how big the business is, right? So if you have a business where you have multiple people doing, different functions, and then, so then a project management tool would be good to help you organize those things. So because we're on such a big scale and we have multiple brands that we manage, we use um, Monday.com, and that works for our size business. But for smaller businesses, you have things where you can connect, like Slack. Slack is a great one. You dial in on your phone, on your iPads, on your desktop. You can always, be in communication, staying in line. There are other tools that you can use, like for scheduling social media. Canva. A lot of people underestimate or really don't understand the functions of Canva. It's not just like a bootleg design scenario. You can really tailor it to your brand and really make it work for you. And you can schedule your posts directly from Canva. And the great thing about Canva is that they have all different sizes already pre-sized. So it takes the guesswork out of the process. So if you want to do a post, a story, a banner, XYZ, they have all of those, and you can duplicate it all, and you can do it for one brand, multiple brands, however, and then you can schedule it so that you can be working, you could be doing what you're doing and your stuff is still posting, and then you can still post independently. So that's a great one. Let's see, what are some other good ones? That's really that one's really my favorite. That's the one I use the most, I would say. But there are other scheduling tools. So even with a lot of the contractors, you're going to have an email blast service. So whether it's let me see, Constant Contact, or what's the one with the monkey? Not Survey
MailChimp.
Monkey. Mailchimp. We use Mailchimp. But the other people on my team, they're more versed in that side of things. But those also have adaptations to other, apps that allow you to then take that information and then post it to social media and vice versa. So you can get people engaged in a multitude of ways and using these platforms, or you could make it really granular and super easy for yourself. Use one platform to be able to communicate to all of your social and digital footprints.
Those are some great tools. Like I'm well versed in all of those tools. That was great because like you need help, right? Like you don't the I always say gone are the days where you had to manually do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Mm-hmm.
can catch up on some automation and those tools, it's just gonna make your life so much easier.
So much easier. Listen, I don't want to age myself. I don't want to tell people, how long I've been on this here earth. However, I will say we had to do it all from scratch. And I can guarantee you, those of us from back in the day who developed ADHD, ADD, whatever, we are the brain keepers and the brain trust of these, AI things that are available to us now, because we had to figure out how to get a lot of stuff done in a small amount of time, how to get a lot of information out by condensing it, at the same time making it functional so that we could become more productive. Like that's literally my generation, and I'm not going to say which one that is, but the ones that have come after me have perfected that. And so now we're in a space where it's like there's really no excuse that someone can offer when you can basically download chat gbt to your cell phone. And if you can't come up with something, you can ask it, or you can ask the people who live inside of the phones, like the series of the world and the Geminis, so that it really just takes very basic um, training, very basic training, and you get it like that. We're all adaptable. We're in this space now where we have more information at our fingertips than we ever have had before, and we should be able to use that to really enhance how we market, how we communicate to one another, and how we get our businesses out there.
Mhm. No, it's y- I'm not going to tell my age either, but but you do have this, new age and where, things are at your fingertips and being able to take advantage of those things, Gemini, ChatGPT, just being able to, help it answer different questions for you or help guide you in a different direction, will be super helpful and beneficial. And just taking some of the heavy lifting off, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes my job so much easier. It makes communicating with the contractors easier. Sharing these, little nuggets of information that I learned, new tools, sharing it with them helps them do their job, and, like I said, market their business makes that easier for them. And that's what we want. We just want this continuous stream so that everybody is, operating at the very top level that they can.
Hmm. And along with that, um, and I know I'm just gonna just throw it up for you, and I know you're gonna take it away from me. Uh, again, you're managing multiple different brands. Does that
Mhm.
mean that you're on every platform there is? That's out. Mhm.
Well, yes and no. So again, you have to know your audience, right? So we do have a Twitter page, but we don't really use it. We don't tweet. You know what I'm saying? Like our contractors aren't on Twitter for the most part. Where are they? You have to find where they are. One thing that has surprised us, honestly, is LinkedIn. Like, what an incredible tool to market your business, to tell people who you are, to connect with other people in the same industry, and to get all of the background information that you need. The analytics are so in depth. It tells you, who visited your page. You have the percentages of what industry they're in. So you're like, oh, this amount of salespeople are looking at us. Okay, let's talk more to them because this might mean for HR more recruits. These are people who are looking at our company. Okay, this is a distributor. Oh, look, we've got some new competition that we weren't even aware of. Why are they on our page? Okay, they're studying us. So it's like you get that type of information. Then you can also use it to market. So, let's just say somebody is like, let me just pick one. If I had to rank them, I would say LinkedIn first,
Mhm,
Instagram second, Facebook third.
mhm,
Um, oh gosh, LinkedIn, TikTok,
mhm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
TikTok. TikTok and Instagram, I would say, are hand in hand. Like, I really think you should have both. We currently don't have a TikTok page, but it's actually in the making. We wanted to do like a really amazing, like, influencer, like a HVAC influencer type of theme to launch the TikTok page. Like, but we have a lot of overthinkers, so it's taking a little longer to get there. But if you are the type of person that already enjoys TikTok, already enjoys Instagram. I think if you lean into the areas and the formats that you're most on, you'll probably do the best there. It kind of just makes more sense because you already know the platform, you already know how to communicate on the platform. So maybe start where you're already comfortable and then warm up to the other ones. I think that would probably be the best advice. Yeah.
And that's perfect. You took it right away from me. Like,
Alley
that
oop, listen.
yeah, alley-oop, that was perfect advice, right? Like getting those insights, knowing where your audience is at is going to be so helpful. And then knowing also too that what works for one person may not work for the next person. I've
Mhm,
seen that with Facebook in particular, where certain areas like talk to the contractor. Oh, Facebook is great for us. Talk to
mhm,
another contractor in this area. Facebook, just like it's just not good for them. Uh, I've been around where I kind of know, like in this area region, no Facebook.
right, right.
It just doesn't work. Like it just doesn't. But in these areas, yeah, like it can work. So, but just knowing that and saying, okay, let's just not you don't abandon it, but you say, okay, let's just focus some of our attention more over here.
Absolutely. So, for instance, our Acme Refrigeration and Kaiser brand, so they're located, the deep South Louisiana, right? So, like Shreveport and, you know, Baton Rouge, right? And it's very backwoodsy, very much. And they're more on the traditional side of things. They don't have a lot of people who are really on those social sites in that way. So, yeah, we still do offer them a presence, but we have to think about how to communicate to their audiences a little different. And when I say you look at like, I'll be talking to someone in the audience, we're Zooming and it'll be like one of the sales managers. And I say, I'm sorry, is that wood paneling on the wall behind you? That lets you know just how different it is. So knowing that type of stuff, really understanding the brand, understanding who their audience is, and then figuring out how to communicate directly to them is majorly important. Absolutely.
It definitely is. It so is understanding that.
Yeah.
So as we're shifting for a moment, can you talk about any future plans or things that you guys are working on coming up, whether that's events or different things, initiatives that you have?
Yeah, so this is the great time of year because for everyone it's like, back to school, whether we all feel what it feels like to go back to school because we've all been there. So we're at that point in time and we treat this time of year the very same way with our contractors. So currently we've got a big ramp up because the season will be cooling down. Not in every market, Florida stays pretty hot through December, but our contractors have more time to be able to basically sharpen their toolkit. That's how I like to say it, and attend a lot of our trainings that we have. With the new A2L requirements, we'll have more trainings around that, and those will be brand specific, those will be equipment specific. We have a lot of big things coming up with commercial. So tap in, to that if you guys are interested to see what we're doing with the commercial brands that we represent, and a lot of the things that we do that they love us for, which are continuous contractor events that we do. So, taking the guys fishing, top golf, cruises where they're learning, but they're also having fun, and being able to build more loyalty between our brand and, their small businesses and mid-sized businesses and large businesses as well. So we got a lot to look forward to. The holidays are coming. It slows down typically, but we still do a lot of things in terms of the give back side of things. Veterans Day is big for us here. We like to do some things around that. So I would just say, follow our social pages and you'll be able to kind of keep up with us and see what we've got going on.
Excellent. That's great. Now that's really good stuff.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you're welcome. And in lieu of that, also too as well, any final comments or helpful tips for the audience?
Oh gosh, okay. This is a good one. I would say so shock value is always good, but
Mhm.
just be be very aware of your audience. Sometimes we get tag. I tell people on our Instagram page, tag us in your installs
Yep.
because we want to see, how you install the products and stuff like that. This helps build a relationship bridge. But the installs where you've got someone twerking on the side, you can you can leave us you can leave us off of those. But I like that in you. I like that, that notion, that shock value, like get us out there and, by any means necessary. But it's not always. So just being silly, but that's one. I would just say continue to continue to do the good work. It's very much appreciated. I don't think that contractors and their businesses are given the flowers that they should be given. On a regular basis, so I'd like everyone to know how much we appreciate you all, Jameer Distributors, Heating and Cooling Supply in the West Coast, and then Acme and Kaiser down in Louisiana. We definitely appreciate the contractors that we work with, the brands that we work with, and the longevity of this business. Jameer has been around for a long time, and so we want to continue that and to continue to help you all grow. So it's really just a moment of gratitude at this point.
Excellent. Very good words of wisdom. No twerking.
I'm sorry.
And lastly, where can they find you guys at?
Awesome. So you can find us on LinkedIn. All of the companies that I mentioned, we all have a corporate page on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn.com/Jameer Distributors, Heating and Cooling, Acme Refrigeration, and Kaiser all have LinkedIn pages, as well as Instagram. You can find us same monikers at Jameer Distributors, at Heating and Cooling Supply, at Acme Refrigeration, and at Kaiser Supply, and all on Facebook as well. So the top three and soon to come will be TikTok.
All
Just for
right.
Jameer though.
Right.
One at a time. One at a time.
Well, make sure you guys go ahead, connect, reach out via Facebook, LinkedIn, and then coming soon, TikTok.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for being a guest. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate being here. Thank you for the opportunity and looking forward to doing more with you all.
Yes, yes, us too as well. Well,
Awesome.
everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. Make sure you tune into the next one. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Blueprint Boost for Contractors. We hope you found today's insights and strategies valuable for your contracting business. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and please leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring content that truly matters.